Bonnie Zare, and I'm the Director of Women's and Gender Studies at Virginia Tech. We are going to have a street theater performance, which I'm about to explain to you in a moment. And then at 4 o'clock, we're going to rally the top of the drill field and go on a march to ask for medicated abortion to be available at Shippard Health Center. So please join us for that. And if you can't join us, please make sure you sign the petition at one of our tables if you're in favor. Street theater is a forum that has existed for a long time. It flourishes particularly when groups of citizens are asking for freedom, for workers' rights, has a long history in Brazil and India. We are not professional actors and we are not professional scriptwriters. The main idea is that it's short, it's to the point, and it's direct messaging so that passersby stop even if they weren't planning to see a play. And to introduce this specific play, we'll now hear from Lane Early.
Hello and welcome to our short play, I Own My Body. The students of Dr. Bonnie Zare's Feminist Theory class have put together a performance for you on the topic of abortion. We will be covering a wide range of topics including abortion occurring as a sudden medical procedure, experiences of transgender and non-binary individuals, sexual assault, words from doctors who assist people to terminate their pregnancies, financial access, and with words from local individuals who courageously shared their stories with us. All of the stories that will be shared are direct testimony. We appreciate all of you coming out to show your support today, and we really hope you feel impacted by the stories you hear.
The state does not own my body. I own my body.
The state does not own my body. I own my body. The state does not own my body. I own my body. The state does not own my body. I own my body. The state does not own my body. I own my body.
Protesters outside the clinic, you aren't walking in my shoes.
I was harassed on my way into Planned Parenthood. That stopped me in my tracks. I started to question myself. I looked towards the door. I got self-conscious about what I was about to do.
That didn't change the fact that I couldn't afford to raise a child.
That didn't change the fact that I couldn't give a child the life that it deserved.
That didn't change the fact that I didn't want a child to suffer in the foster care system.
I decided to terminate the pregnancy, and I'm so glad that I did.
Birth control fails at any age. I was faced with a decision when I was 18.
I didn't know it at the time, but that wouldn't be the last time I would terminate a pregnancy. But once again, I was faced with a decision when I was 37.
At 18, I was shocked that the birth control that my mom gave me didn't work.
At 37, I was shocked that I was in this situation again. But now, as a busy professor and a mother of 2.
I was scared, feeling too inexperienced to be a mother. I felt older than 18. The other girls in my dorm weren't signing themselves over to a doctor. They weren't scrambling for money.
I was scared. I couldn't tell anyone but my husband. I felt older than 37. This time, I felt too old to balance my already busy life with 2 kids and an unplanned 3rd child.
At 18, I felt stupid because the world judged me as irresponsible. I was grateful to be able to stay in school and follow my dream of becoming a professor.
At 37, I felt stupid because the world forgets birth control fails, no matter how old you are. I was grateful to have the choice and give my love to those who were already here.
Hearing from healthcare professionals. I'm an OBGYN. Every day I go into work and help pregnant people in any way that I can. It has always been my job to decide if a person is capable of carrying a pregnancy to full term. If not, I make the choice to protect the pregnant person over the fetus. Abortion saves lives.
My job is to diagnose birth defects. When a person's pregnant, I identify any deathly defects that could kill the mother or infant upon birth. Most of the time, the pregnant person chooses to terminate the pregnancy to save their own lives. But without abortions, that will no longer be a possibility.
Abortion saves lives.
As a doctor, it is my job to explain every choice that my patients can make. This includes all the benefits and all the consequences of each decision. It has always been up to my patients to make the ultimate call. But without abortions, there will be no choice for them to make. And so, they may not be able to survive their pregnancy.
Abortion saves lives.
Even when I'm unable to save a life, I know that deep down I did everything I could. Without being able to perform abortions, how can I say that?
Abortion saves lives.
As a doctor, I took an oath to do no harm. Without abortions, I'm failing that oath because I'm not doing everything I can to minimize the harm done to my patients.
Abortion saves lives.
Sudden medical procedure. 32-week abortion.
I was happy. I was so close to holding you in my arms. Then I discovered you wouldn't live to see me or your father. You wouldn't be able to breathe. We had to make a choice whether to see you suffocate to death when you were born or die with no pain. We chose to let you die peacefully through abortion. It was the hardest thing that I ever had to do. He gave me the shot. We waited for an hour and a half, and then your heart stopped. I had to give birth to your dead body the next day. My labor lasted for 24 hours, but the physical pain is nothing compared to the pain of losing you. And no, this isn't God's plan. It's just shit luck and could happen to anyone.
Sudden loss.
I was happy to see your brother try to play with you when you were inside me. We went to see you, but before we got the chance, we were told you died. I miscarried, but I had to wait a full 24 hours to get the D&C, to think about my choices. That's the law, but you were already gone. When I went to get my abortion, I was read a scripture about why I shouldn't kill you, but you were already gone. Why did I have to hear this? Losing you wasn't my choice. Pregnancy can be unpredictable.
The choice.
We had 48 hours to decide between two equally horrible choices. Lose both of you, or lose one while the other lives. One was really sick and didn't have a high chance of surviving. The other had no serious medical problems. We didn't have the medical knowledge back then to know the right choice. We let one die while the other lived because we couldn't lose both of you. I will never know if I did the right thing, but every pregnant person deserves the right to choose. I share my story because it isn't unique.
It deserves to be heard, just like every pregnant person's story.
Access to healthcare depends on your bank account. The number of zeros in my bank account balance makes a lot of decisions for me. Some are more crucial than others. This time, it's whether or not I can afford an abortion.
I was 19 when I learned I was pregnant. I was studying abroad, so I considered going back to Honduras for my procedure. I quickly learned that I did not have the time to do so. 31 weeks pregnant and lacking the $18,000 I needed for my procedure and travel. I had to get to New Mexico. I was lucky. I had abortion funds. I had friends. I had help to raise the money. What about those who aren't so lucky?
I found out I was pregnant at 36. I was ecstatic. At 16 weeks, I was told the pregnancy was non-viable. I had three options: miscarry, birth a stillborn, or have an abortion. I chose to abort. I had to fly to Orlando, get a hotel room, rent a car, and pay for the procedure. It cost me over $5,000. I'm lucky to have had the funds to cover it, but all I could think about was, what about those who aren't so lucky?
I was 22 when I discovered I was pregnant. I was first told I was 16 weeks, but I was actually 26 weeks. I had to travel to New Mexico for my abortion. The total cost of the entire trip was $14,000. Luckily, I had friends, family, loans, and abortion funds to help me. However, one thing has never been and will never be lost on me. What about those who aren't so lucky?
There are too many people out there who aren't so lucky. There are a lot of social restrictions getting in the way of a person receiving adequate reproductive care. This is not some trivial attempt or the furthering of some agenda. Too often, this is truly life or death.
Does the number of zeros attached to my name decide the course of my future? Why should my bank account become the dictator of my life?
Coping with pregnancy amidst gender dysphoria.
I was closeted, but I was still masculine. I didn't even know what being transgender was.
Transgender, adjective, denoting to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex.
People laughed at me for who I was and harmed me for my authenticity. I didn't even know what transphobia meant.
Transphobia, noun, dislike of or prejudice against transsexual or transgender people.
I was raped, even though I was masculine. I became pregnant, even though I was masculine. I'm not the only one.
According to the Williams Institute at UCLA School of Law, transgender people are over 4 times more likely than cisgender people to experience violent victimization, including rape, sexual assault, and aggravated or simple assault.
My mental health spiraled, and I didn't have the funds to save it. My mental health spiraled, and I had to sit in agony thinking about the life-saving decision I was going to make.
Gender dysphoria, a sense of unease that a person may have because of a mismatch between their biological sex and their gender identity.
There's a conflict between my gender identity and my ability to reproduce. No one respects this conflict, and everyone chooses to silence us. Hardly anyone can help me. The silence is deafening and creates a loneliness that is unimaginable. Everywhere you look, you are an outcast.
This is not a hallucination, nor is it philosophical.
I am right here. I do not want to die. I became pregnant
even though I was masculine. I'm not the only one.
I was 12 years old. You were supposed to take me to the park. You were supposed to be a safe person to talk to.
I was so excited to finally live on my own. I thought my campus would be safe. I thought I would be fine.
I was married with 2 children. I was supposed to be having a fun night with my friends. I was celebrating a promotion.
I don't even know what pregnancy is. I just want to think about my volleyball game in middle school.
Shit. How the hell am I supposed to focus on graduating now?
How do I explain to my husband that I'm pregnant with another man's baby?
Abortion gave me my childhood back.
Abortion gave me my power back.
Abortion helped me graduate on the dean's list.
Abortion gave me my power back.
Abortion helped me focus on the children I already have.
Abortion gave me my power back.
Helping pregnant people, one person at a time.
I drive a bright green Toyota, a small go-kart of a thing designed to make a large visual impact. However, it's not the best color to drive in with my headlights on at 3 a.m. And it's probably not the best color to drive my friend across state lines so that none of her neighbors can see. And it's not the best color to drive her back from the termination that will ultimately save her life. And it's not the best color to avoid picket lines, nor avoid the eyes of the state trooper on lonely highways in rural areas. But it's the only thing I have. And so I will still drive friend after friend after friend after friend after friend to wherever they need to go to get the medical care that they need in my bright green car.
The state does not own my body. I own my body. The state does not own my body. I own my body. The state does not own my body. I own my body. The state does not own my body. I own my body. The state does not own my body. I own my